So I know there's an issue that comes up with a lot of organizations that say, what is the value of hybrid? Why should we even consider this?
Yep.
So talk those ROI discussions. We were looking for a calculator, and I'm sure there's one that's out there. I think I've seen it. We got to locate it.
Yeah, I believe there's a number of different calculators out there that enable you to better understand ROI of moving to the cloud. Obviously, there are reports on total economic impact and how Office 365 has helped a number of different organizations. You can find those through our customer stories on our product site via office.com. But one of the ways to think about it as well is inside of Office 365, obviously we abstract or take away a lot of the operational and capital expenditures that you used to face, in particular with SharePoint. We roll your upgrades, and it's a financially backed SLA. So we always achieve, in most cases, our 3 nines. But so not only is there an SLA in respect to the uptime of your environment, obviously there are RPO and RTO targets, but in addition to that, we provide backup and restore functionality, obviously transparency through Office 365 Trust, a number of different things that we give you just by virtue of you subscribing to Office 365. But one of the big benefits of hybrid in this particular case is suppose you have an on-premises installation already. You've invested in some hardware, maybe you've invested in some network gear, you've invested obviously in the software, in the corresponding licenses. Doesn't mean that you have to sacrifice that. Hybrid enables you to maximize ROI on your existing investment while simultaneously taking advantage of Office 365. So effectively, you can get into the service without having to sacrifice with what you've already invested in. And you can start out with a 90% dominance of data on-prem, 10% in the cloud. So effectively, that means I'm going to treat Office 365 like a new data silo and enable new content to be provisioned there while sustaining my existing model. Or it could be coupled with migration, which means I want to be 10% data dominance one day on-prem, 90% in the cloud. So I'm going to implement migration. But that connective tissue is really what allows you to maintain or maximize ROI with what you already have.
Yeah, I love the whole story of move when you're ready to move when it makes sense. Yeah. So you could go in there and decide that, hey, this organization, there's certain teams or business units where it makes sense to go early, others that maybe have advanced customizations, they've got line business systems they've integrated in where it's going to be heavier lifting, more difficult, longer, but you don't have to go do everybody at the same time and move that over. You can have pieces and still maintain a consistent experience across the company.
Yeah, I mean, let's look at some traditional businesses as examples. So let's take Contoso Pharmaceuticals.
Love Contoso. Use all their products.
Yep.
Right.
Big shareholder. And we'll also take Blue Yonder Airlines. So we've got 2 organizations here, Contoso and Blue Yonder. In Contoso's case, like many pharmaceuticals, they may have effectively a campus or some kind of home dominance where their organization resides, probably 90%. Of those people that reside there, program, project managers, researchers, research and development. So they create a lot of sensitive IP. At the same time, you likely have sales. Sales is going to be remote, for a successful sales program because you want to sell globally. So they're going to be working globally. Great way to manage that is through hybrid. Your researchers who are producing a lot of sensitive information that maybe you feel like you need.
Well, they could be working with customers that require it. I mean, there could be other needs besides just capability. But
they can stay on premises.
Right.
But it would be advantageous to give 24/7 access to data regardless of device and location to your sales staff so they can continue that motion of selling. They don't have to VPN in or email reports back and forth. They can do this in real time. So Office 365, connective tissue is hybrid, which means navigation and insight back and forth is simplified. Very similar in our Blue Yonder case. So Blue Yonder is based out of Seattle. That's where a lot of their staff is. So we'll say they're based out of SeaTac. But Blue Yonder Airlines is an airline, which means that they have flight crews and staff that are always on the go. It'd be beneficial for them, obviously, to have access to a service that can move with them. So very similar to Contoso Pharmaceuticals, we can subscribe them for Office 365, but continue to maintain our existing on-premises investments. But we need discovery and compliance to flow back and forth. Well, that fluidity is provided by hybrid.
Yeah, so a lot of benefits there. Again, it's just another strategy. There's just another tool in the tool belt for organizations that say, hey, what's the best way for my unique circumstances to go take advantage of the latest, greatest, but while still getting the benefit out of the investments that we've already made.
Yeah, you know, hybrid is the, you know, it's a hammer in many cases that allows you to address needs as related to disruption of business, investment customization, data sensitivity, sovereignty concerns, management aspects, because we have common management layers, particularly through Windows PowerShell, which can be used to manage 365 as well as on-prem. And then lastly, in this particular case where you want to maximize ROI on your existing investments, you want to carry these through the next 5 years until you can end of life the hardware or perhaps the software, and then really, you know, get hyper aggressive about moving to the cloud. Well, guess what? Hybrid enables you to do that. You don't have to wait 5 years. Get started today.